2 forgotten kits, 1 DNA profile, 5 more matches in other states, and the suspect? Cremated, nameless, until genealogy turned rumor into proof. This documentary explains how the Ventura County Sexual Assault Kit Initiative, SAKI, routine DNA testing, CODIS comparisons, and investigative genetic genealogy identified Sean Patrick McNulty, DOB 0604-1959, as the perpetrator linked to multiple home invasion rapes in California, Michigan, and Ohio. The identification is based on official casework led by the Ventura County District Attorney's Office, with laboratory support from the Ventura County Sheriff's Forensic Services Bureau and partner agencies. Ventura County District Attorney. Our scope is limited to verified facts contained in the Ventura County DA news release and its attached case summaries, plus basic program definitions from the U.S. Department of Justice's Bureau of Justice Assistance, BJA, regarding SAKI. We will describe the Ventura assaults in 1982 and 1983, the CODIS matches made public by Ventura County, the linked assaults in 1994, Meridian Township, MI, 1995, Birmingham, MI, and 1997, Columbus, OH. The 1993 Bloomington, Indiana case that preserved a biological reference sample from McNulty, the genealogy step that narrowed to McNulty as a candidate, and the confirmatory DNA comparisons performed by participating labs. We will not add speculation, opinions, or dramatization. Ventura County District Attorney. Standards for this script are straightforward. First, facts come from official documents and agency statements. When we refer to SAKI, we use definitions and purposes as published by BJA, testing unsubmitted sexual assault kits, improving processes, and supporting victim-centered responses. Second, every timeline point and procedural step we include appears in the cited release or its summaries, unless we are quoting BJA program materials for context. Third, we will clearly separate what is confirmed, e.g. DNA matches across specified cases, existence of McNulty's prior biological sample, confirmatory lab results, from what remains under investigation, Bureau of Justice Assistance. Finally, we will keep language clear and factual. We will use neutral descriptions for victims, avoid unnecessary detail, and follow the order of events documented by the agencies involved. Where contact information or resource links are provided by officials, we will present them exactly as written. What is SAKI? The Sexual Assault Kit Initiative, SAKI, is a U.S. Department of Justice, Bureau of Justice Assistance program. Its goal is to help jurisdictions test unsubmitted sexual assault kits, investigate linked cases, improve policies, and support victim services. SAKI funding supports a comprehensive approach, locating and testing kits, following up on investigative leads, including DNA and CODIS work, improving multidisciplinary coordination, and building sustainable practices so backlogs do not return. Bureau of Justice Assistance. Ventura County operates a local implementation called the Ventura County Sexual Assault Kit Initiative, VCSAKI. According to the District Attorney's news release, VCSAKI was launched in 2022 to test every sexual assault kit for the presence of DNA and investigate unsolved cases. The release states, the initiative is funded by U.S. Department of Justice grants, along with County of Ventura funding. The county keeps an information site with updated testing status and support resources. Ventura County District Attorney. In this case, the Ventura County Sheriff's Forensic Services Bureau oversaw testing of 2 kits from assaults that occurred in 1982 and 1983 in Ventura. From those kits, scientists obtained perpetrator DNA profiles and uploaded them to CODIS, the Combined DNA Index System. In March 2024, the Ventura 1982 and 1983 profiles matched each other, and the same profile matched unsolved assaults in 1994, Meridian Township, Michigan, 1995, Birmingham, Michigan, and 1997, Columbus, Ohio. These steps, testing, profiling, and CODIS comparisons, are typical core activities that SAKI funding is meant to enable. Ventura County District Attorney SAKI at the national level emphasizes both laboratory work and coordinated follow-up. The program framework includes forming or sustaining a multidisciplinary team, improving evidence management, integrating victim services, and using best practices for investigations. The intent is to resolve cases, identify serial offending when it exists, and prevent future assaults through improved systems. Independent federal oversight materials describe SAKI as a grant program for local, state, tribal agencies, and prosecutors that addresses unsubmitted kits and related investigative needs. Bureau of Justice Assistance Office of the Inspector General in Ventura County's implementation, SAKI also coordinated with outside agencies after the CODIS hits. The DA's released documents joint work with the Columbus Police Department, investigative genealogy and lab confirmation, Bloomington Police Department, locating a prior biological reference sample from 1993, FBI ViCAP, crime analyst support, and Michigan agencies for confirmations. This reflects SAKI's intended model, testing kits locally, following the science across jurisdictions, and formal collaboration to complete comparisons and notifications. Case background. On March 11, 1982, a 32-year-old woman was attacked inside a residence in Ventura, California. According to the official case summary, the victim and her roommate had been planning a move and had placed a newspaper ad for a new roommate. That evening, the victim, home alone, took a phone call from a man who said he was interested in the room and asked about the location. Shortly after the call ended, the phone rang again, but the caller said nothing. Ventura County District Attorney. The assault happened moments later. A gloved hand covered the victim's mouth, and a gun was pressed against her head. The man told her not to make a sound and asked where her money was. He forced her into the roommate's bedroom, threw her onto the bed, put a pillowcase over her head, and bound her hands behind her back with a belt. He then committed a sexual assault and fled the residence. In the days that followed, the victim's roommate reported 2 more silent phone calls. These details come directly from the Ventura County District Attorney's publicly released case summary. Ventura County District Attorney evidence from this attack was collected at the time, including a sexual assault kit. Under the Ventura County Sexual Assault Kit Initiative, SAKI, the County Forensic Services Bureau later tested the kit and generated a DNA profile for the perpetrator. That profile, along with the profile from a separate 1983 Ventura case, was uploaded to CODIS. In March 2024, the 1982 and 1983 profiles were confirmed to match each other. The same DNA profile also matched unsolved assaults in Meridian Township, Michigan, 1994, Birmingham, Michigan, 1995, and Columbus, Ohio, 1997. These steps, kit testing, DNA profiling, and cross-jurisdiction CODIS comparisons, are documented in the DA's news release. Ventura County District Attorney. At the time of the 1982 crime, the identity of the perpetrator was unknown. The later SAKI-led investigation combined the CODIS results with investigative genetic genealogy performed by the Columbus Police Department to identify Sean Patrick McNulty, DOB 0604-1959, as a potential suspect. Because McNulty was deceased, investigators sought an independent biological reference sample to confirm or exclude him. That reference sample was located from a 1993 Bloomington, Indiana investigation and was tested by the Columbus Police Department Crime Lab, producing an exact match to the 1997 Columbus case. The Ventura County Laboratory and Michigan laboratories then confirmed matches to the 1982 and 1983 Ventura cases and the 1994 and 1995 Michigan cases. Ventura County District Attorney, For this section, we have used only the official Ventura County District Attorney PDF and its attached case summaries. No additional narrative or interpretation has been added. All procedural points, the sequence of calls, the method of entry and restraint, the use of a weapon, the evidence collection, and the later DNA findings are taken verbatim in substance from those documents. July 7, 1983, a 24-year-old woman was at her home in Ventura, California. She received a phone call from a man who said he worked for a package delivery company. He told her there was a package with her name on it, but the address label was unreadable. She provided her address. He said a driver would deliver it later that evening. The victim left the residence and returned shortly after 11:00 p.m. As she walked toward her bedroom, someone grabbed her around the neck. A knife was held to her throat. The man told her, "Be quiet, or I'll slit your throat." He bound her hands behind her back with a belt taken from her bedroom. When she tried to pull free, he slapped her. He tied a bandana around her mouth and placed a pillowcase over her head. He asked, "Where's your money?" He then removed her clothing and committed a sexual assault. Before leaving, he told her, "Don't you dare tell the cops or I will come back and kill you." He rubbed the knife on her stomach and fled. These details are taken from the official case summary released by the Ventura County District Attorney. Evidence was collected at the time, including a sexual assault kit. Under the Ventura County Sexual Assault Kit Initiative, SAKI, the Ventura County Sheriff S Forensic Services Bureau later tested the kit and produced a DNA profile for the perpetrator. That profile and the profile from the 1982 Ventura assault were uploaded to the Combined DNA Index System, CODIS. In March 2024, the 1983 profile matched the 1982 profile, establishing that the same unknown offender committed both Ventura assaults. The same DNA profile also matched unsolved rapes in Meridian Township, Michigan, 1994, Birmingham, Michigan, 1995, and Columbus, Ohio, 1997. At that stage, the offender's identity was still unknown. As documented, an investigative genealogist with the Columbus Police Department conducted research using the perpetrator DNA profile and identified Sean Patrick McNulty, DOB 06-04-1959, as a potential suspect. Investigators then sought an independent biological reference sample tied to McNulty to allow direct comparison. Bloomington Police Department located a biological sample from a 1993 investigation in Indiana in which McNulty had been the named suspect. The Columbus Police Department Crime Lab compared that reference sample to the 1997 Columbus rape and reported an exact match. Ventura County S Laboratory then confirmed that McNulty sDNA matched the perpetrator sDNA profile in both Ventura cases, 1982 and 1983, and Michigan laboratories confirmed matches to the 1994 and 1995 cases. All details in this section come from the Ventura County District Attorney's September 4, 2025, news release and attached case summaries. The description of the phone call, the threat, restraints, the sequence inside the residence, and the specific post-assault statements are quoted in substance from those documents. No additional interpretation has been added. Under the Ventura County Sexual Assault Kit Initiative, the Ventura County Sheriff AS Forensic Services Bureau tested the sexual assault kits from the 1982 and 1983 Ventura cases and generated perpetrator DNA profiles. Those profiles were uploaded to CODIS, Combined DNA Index System. In March 2024, analysts confirmed the 1982 profile matched the 1983 profile, showing the same offender committed both Ventura assaults. After the Ventura to Ventura match, CODIS searches showed the same perpetrator DNA profile matched profiles developed from unsolved rapes in Meridian Township, Michigan, 1994, Birmingham, Michigan, 1995, and Columbus, Ohio, 1997. The Ventura County District Attorney S news release documents these interstate links and lists the jurisdictions by year and location. At that point, investigators had a single unknown offender profile connected to 5 crimes across 3 states. The Ventura County District Attorney's release notes that in each of the 5 cases, the identity of the perpetrator was still unknown despite the CODIS hits. This is consistent with how CODIS functions. It can link crime scene profiles to one another or to known offender profiles when available, but a match between crime scenes alone does not provide a person's name. Lists. Because CODIS linked multiple jurisdictions, Ventura County coordinated with partner agencies to review case files, confirm laboratory procedures, and plan next steps. The DA's release identifies partner agencies, including the Columbus Police Department for investigative genealogy and laboratory work, Bloomington Police Department for historical evidence related to an earlier investigation, Michigan partner agencies, and an FBI ViCAP crime analyst. These partners are listed in the official document to show the chain of collaboration that followed the CODIS results. The documented sequence is as follows. Ventura's 2 kits produced a common DNA profile. The profile linked through CODIS to cases in Michigan and Ohio. Identity of the perpetrator remained unknown. Investigative genetic genealogy was then initiated by the Columbus Police Department to generate candidate names based on the perpetrator S profile, and investigators searched for a reference DNA sample to enable a direct comparison. The Ventura County DA release makes clear that the genealogy step identified Sean Patrick McNulty as a potential suspect, and that final identification required a direct DNA match to a known McNulty sample. In summary, the March 2024 CODIS milestone created a single multi-state case framework. It connected Ventura, 1982-1983, Meridian Township, 1994, Birmingham, 1995, and Columbus, 1997. It also set the conditions for the later steps, genealogy research by Columbus PD, and the recovery and testing of a biological reference sample from a prior investigation in Bloomington, Indiana, 1993, where McNulty had been a suspect. The later sections will describe those steps and the confirmatory results reported by the involved laboratories. Michigan case. Summary. Meridian Township, Sept 14th, 1994. On September 14, 1994, a 30-year-old woman returned to her home in Meridian Township, Michigan. As she walked toward her bedroom, a man covered her mouth with his hand. He told her to be quiet and said he had a knife. He also asked if she had money or jewelry. The victim said she had jewelry in the bedroom, and he led her there. Inside the bedroom, the man ordered her to kneel. He searched through the room. He tied her wrists with pantyhose. He put a pair of underwear in her mouth and tied a scarf around her head and mouth. He placed a pillowcase over her head. He then told her to get on the bed and sexually assaulted her. After the assault, he left the residence. These facts are taken from the official case summary released by the Ventura County District Attorney. Evidence from this assault was processed by investigators. Years later, after Ventura County Sexual Assault Kit Initiative, SAKI, tested older kits from Ventura and generated a perpetrator DNA profile, laboratories uploaded those profiles to CODIS. In March 2024, CODIS linked the 1982 and 1983 Ventura profiles to each other and to profiles in multiple states, including the 1994 Meridian Township case. This placed the Michigan case within the same multi-state series. At that time, the offender's name was still unknown. As described by the Ventura County DA, the Columbus Police Department investigative genealogist analyzed the perpetrator DNA profile and identified Sean Patrick McNulty, DOB 604-1959, as a potential suspect. Investigators then sought an independent reference sample for confirmation. A biological sample collected from McNulty during a separate 1993 Bloomington, Indiana investigation was located. Testing at the Columbus Police Department Crime Lab matched McNulty's DNA to the 1997 Columbus rape. Those results were then shared with Ventura County and Michigan laboratories. Michigan scientists confirmed that McNulty's DNA matched the perpetrator DNA profile in the 1994 Meridian Township assault and the 1995 Birmingham assault. No further details beyond those documented in the release are added here. The sequence of events in Meridian Township, entry, threats, restraints, blindfolding, and the assault is presented as written in the official case summary. The linkage pathway, Ventura kit testing, CODIS multi-state hits, investigative genealogy, reference sample, confirmatory lab matches, follows the order described in the Ventura County DA document. Michigan case. Summary. Birmingham, March 1, 1995. On March 1, 1995, a woman returned to her apartment in Birmingham, Michigan. According to the official case summary, earlier that day she had spoken with a man who said he was a real estate agent and asked about viewing a nearby unit. That evening, a man entered her residence. He displayed a handgun and ordered her to stay quiet. He asked where she kept money and jewelry. Inside the bedroom, he directed her movements and searched through drawers. He bound her wrists, he gagged her and covered her head, he sexually assaulted her and then left the apartment. The sequence and wording presented here reflect the facts listed in the Ventura County District Attorney S. publicly released case summary for the Birmingham incident. Evidence from the assault was collected and preserved by Michigan authorities. Years later, after Ventura County's Sexual Assault Kit Initiative, SAKI, tested older Ventura kits and generated a perpetrator DNA profile, that profile was uploaded to CODIS. In March 2024, CODIS linked the 1982 and 1983 Ventura cases to each other and to unsolved cases in Meridian Township, 1994, Birmingham, 1995, and Columbus, 1997. This established that the same unknown offender's DNA profile was present in all 5 crimes. At that stage, the offender's identity was not known. As documented by Ventura County, an investigative genealogist with the Columbus Police Department reviewed the perpetrator's DNA profile using investigative genetic genealogy methods and identified Sean Patrick McNulty, DOB 0604-1959, as a potential suspect. Investigators then sought a direct reference sample for confirmation. The Bloomington Police Department located a biological sample from a 1993 investigation in which McNulty had been a suspect. The Columbus Police Department Crime Lab tested that sample and reported an exact match to the 1997 Columbus rape. Ventura County Laboratory and Michigan laboratories then performed their own comparisons and confirmed that McNulty's DNA matched the perpetrator's DNA profile from the Birmingham 1995 assault and the Meridian Township 1994 assault, as well as from the 2 Ventura assaults. The case summary does not add details beyond the points listed above. For this section, the account of the pretext contact, the presence of a handgun, the restraints, the head covering, the sexual assault, and the offender's departure are derived from the official summary text. The linkage pathway, Ventura testing, CODIS multi-state matches, investigative genealogy, location of a historical reference sample, and laboratory confirmations across jurisdictions, follows the order and phrasing used in the Ventura County District Attorney release and attachments. Ohio case. Summary. Columbus, Aug. 3, 1997. On August 3, 1997, a woman was assaulted inside her residence in Columbus, Ohio. According to the official summary, a man used a simple pretext connected to a neighbor and asked about valuables. Once inside, he threatened the victim, demanded money and property, and committed a sexual assault. He then left the location. The summary does not provide identifying details about the victim. It lists only the sequence of the approach, threats, demands, and the assault. Evidence from the scene was collected by Columbus authorities, including a sexual assault kit. The Columbus Police Department Crime Laboratory later developed a perpetrator DNA profile from this case. At the time, the offender's identity was unknown. This profile would later become a key point of comparison when other jurisdictions uploaded their profiles into CODIS. As described in prior sections, Ventura County's Sexual Assault Kit Initiative, SAKI, tested two older kits from Ventura, California, 1982 and 1983. Per the Ventura County District Attorney's release, those profiles were uploaded to CODIS. In March 2024, CODIS showed 1. The Ventura 1982 and 1983 assaults matched each other, and 2. The same unknown perpetrator profile matched unsolved cases in Meridian Township, Michigan, 1994, Birmingham, Michigan, 1995, and Columbus, Ohio, 1997. This placed the Columbus case within the same series as the Ventura and Michigan assaults. Following the CODIS multi-state linkage, the Columbus Police Department initiated investigative genetic genealogy on the perpetrator's DNA profile. According to the Ventura County DA's document, this work identified Sean Patrick McNulty, DOB 06-4-1959, as a potential suspect. Because genealogy does not itself create a legal identification, investigators sought a known biological reference sample tied directly to McNulty. The Bloomington Police Department located a preserved biological sample from a 1993 investigation in Bloomington, Indiana, in which McNulty had been a suspect. That sample was transferred to the Columbus Police Department Crime Laboratory. Columbus analysts compared the McNulty reference sample to the 1997 Columbus case evidence. The lab reported an exact match. This was the first direct DNA confirmation connecting McNulty to one of the assaults linked by CODIS. After the Columbus confirmation, results were shared with partner agencies. The Ventura County Sheriff's Forensic Services Bureau compared the same McNulty reference sample to the 1982 and 1983 Ventura perpetrator profiles and confirmed matches. Michigan laboratories then confirmed matches to the 1994 Meridian Township and 1995 Birmingham cases. The Ventura County DA's release lists these confirmations and credits participating agencies, including an FBI ViCAP analyst who supported the multi-jurisdiction review. The Columbus section is presented here as written in official materials: pretext entry, threat, demand for valuables, sexual assault, evidence collection, and later laboratory work. No additional narrative is added. The identity outcome in this segment is limited to what the documents state. Investigative genealogy identified McNulty as a potential suspect. A preserved 1993 reference sample enabled a direct match, and laboratories in Ohio, California, and Michigan confirmed the multi-state connections. The Indiana Bridge, Bloomington, May 26, 1993. In the joint review after the CODIS links, Ventura County SAKI team worked with a crime analyst at the FBI's Violent Criminal Apprehension Program, ViCAP. The analyst located a 1993 rape case in Bloomington, Indiana, in which Sean Patrick McNulty was the named suspect. This connection established a clear investigative path to seek a known, lawfully collected reference sample tied to McNulty. Investigators contacted the Bloomington Police Department to confirm what historical evidence still existed in that 1993 case. During those contacts, they learned that McNulty died by suicide in 1997 after becoming a suspect in the Bloomington investigation. This information clarified why no new buccal swab could be collected and why the search for an existing sample was necessary. Ventura County SAKI team requested a search for any biological sample previously collected from McNulty during the 1993 Bloomington case. Bloomington investigators found such a sample in their retained evidence. That biological reference sample was then transported from Indiana to the Columbus Police Department Crime Laboratory in Ohio for comparison with the 1997 Columbus case evidence profile. The Columbus Police Department Crime Lab compared McNulty's reference sample to the perpetrator DNA profile from the 1997 Columbus rape. The laboratory reported an exact match. This result provided the first direct person-to-case DNA identification within the multi-state series that CODIS had linked. The laboratory then forwarded its results to Ventura County for additional cross-checks against the earlier Ventura cases. After receiving the Ohio lab's report, the Ventura County Sheriff ES Forensic Services Bureau compared McNulty's DNA reference profile to the 1982 and 1983 Ventura perpetrator profiles and confirmed matches. Michigan laboratories then confirmed that the same reference profile matched the 1994 Meridian Township and 1995 Birmingham cases. These confirmations established that the same individual identified through the Indiana reference sample, Sean Patrick McNulty, was the source of the perpetrator DNA across all 5 linked assaults in California, Michigan, and Ohio. For context, Ventura County's release also documents a separate effort the team pursued in parallel, locating a post-mortem DNA source. Investigators found McNulty's headstone in a Ventura County cemetery, but learned that his body had been cremated and the location of his remains was unknown. This is included here only to explain why the Indiana reference sample was pivotal. It was the practicable route to a known standard DNA comparison after Genealogy identified McNulty as a potential suspect. The Indiana bridge therefore served 3 essential functions in the sequence of evidence. It anchored the CODIS linked series to a name through a direct biological reference, as opposed to crime scene matches alone. It enabled laboratory confirmations across all 5 assaults in 3 states, using standard forensic comparison procedures. It explained the timing and method of identification in a case where the suspect was deceased and no fresh sample could be collected. No additional details are asserted here beyond the official documents. The items listed: ViCAP's identification of the Bloomington case, McNulty's status as a suspect there, his death in 1997, the location of a retained biological sample from that investigation, its transport to Columbus, the exact match to the 1997 case, and the subsequent confirmations in California and Michigan are drawn directly from the Ventura County District Attorney's news release. Investigative Genetic Genealogy Role. After CODIS confirmed the Ventura, Michigan, and Ohio assaults were linked to the same unknown offender, the next step was investigative genetic genealogy. According to the Ventura County District Attorney's release, this stage was led by the Columbus Police Department. Investigative genetic genealogy is a process where a DNA profile from a crime scene is compared against genetic data in genealogy databases that permit law enforcement use. Analysts look for relatives of the unknown person rather than the individual directly. By building family trees and tracing relationships, investigators can narrow the search to a candidate or small group of candidates. In this case, Columbus Police Department, investigative genealogist, applied this process to the multi-state perpetrator DNA profile that had been entered into CODIS. The genealogy analysis pointed to Sean Patrick McNulty, DOB 0604-1959, as a potential suspect. It is important to emphasize the wording in the official release. Investigative genetic genealogy identified McNulty as a potential suspect. Genealogy results alone are not considered sufficient for legal identification. A direct DNA comparison with a known reference sample from the individual is required before confirmation can be made. Because McNulty had died in 1997, no new sample could be collected. Investigators needed to find an existing biological sample associated with him from a prior investigation or medical collection. The search for such a sample led to the discovery of a retained biological reference from the 1993 Bloomington, Indiana case in which McNulty had been a suspect. That sample was later tested, producing an exact match to the Columbus 1997 rape and, subsequently, to the Ventura and Michigan cases. The genealogy phase therefore served as the bridge between CODIS links and confirmatory DNA testing. CODIS had shown that 5 assaults in 3 states were connected by one unknown profile. Genealogy narrowed the pool to a named individual, and the located reference sample then allowed standard forensic testing to confirm the match. All of these steps, the Columbus PD role, the genealogy methods, the naming of McNulty as a candidate, and the requirement of further testing, are described in the Ventura County DA's official release. Obtaining and testing the reference sample. After investigative genetic genealogy identified Sean Patrick McNulty as a potential suspect, investigators needed a known, lawfully obtained reference DNA sample from McNulty to allow a direct comparison. Because McNulty died in 1997, a fresh buccal swab was not possible. Ventura County's team documented 2 parallel steps. 1. Checking for any post-mortem source, and 2. Locating any prior, retained sample collected during an earlier investigation. For the post-mortem check, investigators verified McNulty's burial information. They located his headstone in Ventura County, but learned that he had been cremated and that the whereabouts of the remains were unknown. With no remains available, this route could not provide a reference profile. The second step focused on historical evidence. With support from an FBI ViCAP crime analyst, the team identified a 1993 Bloomington, Indiana rape investigation in which McNulty had been a suspect. Ventura County contacted the Bloomington Police Department to determine what evidence from that case had been retained. Bloomington PD located a biological sample previously collected from McNulty during the 1993 investigation. This sample met the requirement for a known standard that could be compared against crime scene profiles. The Bloomington reference sample was transported to the Columbus Police Department Crime Laboratory. Columbus PD was already a partner agency on the linked series and had the 1997 Columbus case evidence profile ready for comparison. Columbus analysts conducted the comparison between the McNulty reference sample and the 1997 Columbus perpetrator profile. The lab reported an exact match. This result produced the first direct person-to-case identification in the multi-state series. Following laboratory practice, results were then shared so other jurisdictions could perform their own confirmations. The Ventura County Sheriff Forensic Services Bureau received the McNulty reference profile and compared it to the perpetrator DNA profiles from the 1982 and 1983 Ventura cases. Ventura confirmed matches to both assaults. In Michigan, laboratories compared the same reference to the 1994 Meridian Township and 1995 Birmingham perpetrator profiles and confirmed matches there as well. These confirmations established that a single individual, identified through the McNulty reference, was responsible for the perpetrator DNA found in all 5 cases linked by CODIS. The official release attributes roles to each agency for clarity. Columbus PD conducted the investigative genealogy and performed the first confirmatory lab comparison. Bloomington PD located and provided the historical biological sample. Ventura County Sheriff's Forensic Services Bureau completed the Ventura confirmations, and Michigan partner laboratories completed confirmations for the Meridian Township and Birmingham cases. The document also notes the assistance of an FBI ViCAP analyst in identifying the 1993 Bloomington connection. All statements in this section are drawn from the Ventura County District Attorney's published materials. No additional interpretation has been added. The sequence, search for post-mortem options, location of a prior biological reference sample, transfer to Columbus PD Crime Lab, exact match to the 1997 case, and cross-confirmations in California and Michigan follows the order presented in the official record. Suspect background, documented facts, only name and birth. The suspect is Sean Patrick McNulty, date of birth June 4, 1959. The Ventura County District Attorney, S. Release, identifies him by full name and DOB in connection with the linked cases. Early life and schooling. The release states McNulty was born in Burlingame, California, and raised in Ventura. He attended Buena High School and is listed as class of 1977. No additional school details are included in the document. Prior law enforcement contact. According to the release, McNulty was arrested by Ventura police in 1978 for obscene phone calls. The release does not provide disposition details for that arrest. No other arrests are listed in the document. Military service. The release reports that McNulty served as a U.S. Navy diver from 1979 to 1992. It does not list duty stations, unit names, or decorations. The service dates are provided without further comment. Marital history. The document states McNulty married in 1988 and was divorced prior to his death. It does not include dates of separation, spouse's identity, or any related proceedings, residences, and travel. The release lists multiple U.S. states in which McNulty lived or spent time. It also notes travel to the Philippines. The document does not provide a full timeline of addresses or exact travel dates. The states are listed to show geographic range rather than to assert crimes in those locations. 1993 Bloomington case status. In Bloomington, Indiana, McNulty was a suspect in a 1993 rape investigation. During that investigation, a biological reference sample associated with McNulty was collected and later retained in evidence. This sample became central to the later DNA confirmations across states. Death and post-mortem facts. The release states McNulty died by suicide in 1997 in Emmett Township, Michigan. Investigators later located his headstone in Ventura County, learned he had been cremated, and that the location of his remains was unknown. Because no post-mortem sample could be obtained, investigators relied on the 1993 Indiana reference sample for all confirmatory comparisons. Status of identification. The final identification of McNulty as the source of the perpetrator DNA comes from direct matches between the Indiana reference sample and evidence from Columbus, Ohio, 1997, Ventura, California, 1982 and 1983, and Michigan, Meridian Township, 1994, Birmingham, 1995. Genealogy narrowed to McNulty as a potential suspect. The lab comparisons confirmed the identity. This section includes only items stated in the Ventura County District Attorney's release and attached summaries. No additional characterization or inference has been added. Interagency collaboration. The Ventura County District Attorney, AS release, lists the agencies that worked together after CODIS linked the cases. The Columbus Police Department is credited for investigative genetic genealogy, which produced the potential suspect name. Ventura County's Sheriff's Forensic Services Bureau handled testing of the Ventura kits, created the perpetrator DNA profiles, and later confirmed the matches to the Indiana reference sample. The Ventura County DA's SAKI team coordinated contacts, records sharing, and next steps with partner jurisdictions. A crime analyst with the FBI's Violent Criminal Apprehension Program, ViCAP, located the 1993 Bloomington, Indiana case in which Sean Patrick McNulty was the named suspect. This led investigators to a retained biological reference sample from that case. The Bloomington Police Department, Indiana, located the historical evidence confirmed McNulty's status in the 1993 case and his 1997 death. and arranged transport of the reference sample to the Columbus Police Department Crime Laboratory, Ohio, for comparison to the 1997 Columbus case profile. Columbus analysts performed the first exact match to a case in the series and forwarded results to Ventura for additional comparisons. After Ohio's result, scientists at the Ventura County Sheriff's Forensic Services Bureau confirmed matches to the 1982 and 1983 Ventura cases. Michigan laboratories then confirmed matches to the 1994 Meridian Township and 1995 Birmingham cases. The release states that these confirmations established the same individual as the source of the perpetrator DNA in all 5 linked assaults. The DA's document also lists additional agencies thanked for coordination and assistance: Ventura Police Department, Altamonte Springs Police Department, FL, Birmingham Police Department, MI, Meridian Township Police Department, MI, Maricopa County Sheriff's Office, AZ, Florida Department of Law Enforcement. These acknowledgements reflect records checks, information sharing, and jurisdictional cooperation that supported the identification and confirmations. In summary, the collaboration sequence documented by Ventura County was Ventura's kit testing and CODIS uploads, CODIS links across CAMEOH, Columbus PD's investigative genealogy, ViCAP's identification of the 1993 Bloomington case, Bloomington PD's retrieval of McNulty's reference sample, Columbus Crime Lab's first exact match to the 1997 Columbus case, Ventura Lab confirmations for the 1982 and 1983 cases, and Michigan Lab confirmations for the 1994 and 1995 cases. Each step and agency role is specified in the release. Survivor notification and statements. The Ventura County District Attorney's release states that following the laboratory confirmations, agencies initiated survivor notifications in each affected jurisdiction. In Ventura County, SAKI personnel attempted to contact survivors from the 1982 and 1983 assaults using information in case files and updated records. One Ventura survivor was located and informed of the identification. The release records that survivors were offered information about the DNA results, the interstate links through CODIS, the investigative genetic genealogy step, and the final confirmations based on the 1993 Bloomington reference sample tied to Sean Patrick McNulty. The notification included the status of the suspect, deceased in 1997, and the procedural limit that no prosecution can occur. Survivors were also provided contact points for follow-up questions and available support services. According to the document, one Ventura survivor provided a brief statement acknowledging the passage of decades without answers and expressing that the identification brought long-awaited clarity. The release does not publish names or personal details and limits quotations to protect privacy. Our script follows that approach and does not add characterization beyond what is printed. For the linked cases in Michigan and Ohio, the Ventura County release indicates that partner agencies handled notifications within their jurisdictions, consistent with their procedures. Each agency communicated results derived from the shared laboratory work and provided local contact information. The release notes that outreach efforts may continue as investigators verify current contact details. This section relies only on the DA's public document. It confirms that survivor notifications were conducted, that at least one Ventura survivor was reached. That information shared included the identification method and suspect status, and that services and contact options were provided. No details beyond those in the official release are included here. Ongoing investigations and public contact. According to the Ventura County District Attorney's news release, the investigation into other crimes that may have been committed by Sean Patrick McNulty is ongoing. Agencies continue to review information and case histories within Ventura County and in other jurisdictions. The release lists states where McNulty is believed to have lived in or spent time as well as travel to the Philippines. This geographic list is published to assist with outreach and records checks. It does not assert additional crimes in those locations. Members of the public who have information regarding any crimes committed by McNulty are encouraged to contact District Attorney Investigator Yumi Kirk, 805-477-1638, yumi.kirk@venturacounty.gov. This contact information is provided in the official release for tips and relevant leads. For survivors seeking information about services or about sexual assault kit status in Ventura County, the release directs viewers to SAKI, Ventura County, Gov. The site contains regularly updated data on the status of sexual assault kit testing, as well as links to victim support services, including access to free counseling in some instances. The initiative, SAKI, was launched in 2022 and is funded by grants from the U.S. Department of Justice and the County of Ventura. Media and public information inquiries related to this release may be directed to the Communications Manager, PIO, named in the document. The release includes the office's standard media contact details and the release number and date. This section includes only the ongoing investigation statement, the list of locations tied to McNulty's history, the designated tip line, and email and the official SAKI resource website as stated by the Ventura County District Attorney's Office. No additional statements or requests are added beyond what appears in the public document. SAKI launch and funding. Ventura County's Sexual Assault Kit Initiative, SAKI, is the local implementation of the federal SAKI program. According to the Ventura County District Attorney's release, SAKI launched in 2022 with the purpose of testing sexual assault kits, following investigative leads from DNA results, coordinating across agencies, and supporting survivor services. The release states the initiative is funded by U.S. Department of Justice grants and by the County of Ventura. At the national level, SAKI is administered by the Bureau of Justice Assistance, BJA. The BJA-8's official materials describe SAKI as a grant program that helps jurisdictions locate and test unsubmitted kits, develop and follow investigative strategies based on laboratory results, including CODIS, improve evidence management policies, and strengthen victim-centered practices. The program framework also emphasizes maintaining a multidisciplinary team that includes law enforcement, prosecutors, laboratories, and victim services providers. Within this framework, SAKI carried out several steps documented in the release, tested the 1982 and 1983 Ventura kits and generated DNA profiles, uploaded those profiles to CODIS, which in March 2024 linked Ventura to Meridian Township, 1994, Birmingham 1995, and Columbus 1997. Coordinated with partner agencies for follow-up, including investigative genetic genealogy conducted by the Columbus Police Department, worked with Bloomington Police Department to locate a 1993 biological reference sample tied to Sean Patrick McNulty, enabling a direct DNA comparison, confirmed matches across California, Michigan, and Ohio through accredited laboratories. The Ventura County release also directs the public to SAKI, Ventura County, Gov for local information. The site provides testing status updates, general information about the program, and links to survivor resources offered in the county. The release explains that this transparency is part of the county's approach to informing the public about progress on kit testing and resulting investigations. Federal oversight materials for SAKI further note that jurisdictions use funds not only for testing, but also for policy development, training, and long-term sustainability, so that improvements in evidence handling and survivor services continue after the grant period. These purposes align with the documented steps Ventura County reported in this case, creating a clear testing pipeline, acting on CODIS and genealogy leads, coordinating across states, and maintaining communication channels for survivors and the public. This context explains how SAKI fits into the larger national program and why the Ventura results, testing, multi-state linkages, genealogy, and confirmations follow the specific sequence shown in the official record. Clarifying what the evidence shows versus does not. What the evidence shows. CODIS linked the Ventura 1982 to 1983 profiles to each other, and to 1994 Okemos MI, 1995 Birmingham MI, and 1997 Columbus OH, one unknown offender across 5 cases. Investigative genetic genealogy identified Sean Patrick McNulty as a potential suspect. This step did not establish identity by itself. A 1993 Bloomington in-biological reference sample from McNulty was located and tested by the Columbus Police Department Crime Lab, producing an exact match to the 1997 Columbus case. Ventura and Michigan laboratories then confirmed matches between McNulty's reference DNA and the Ventura 1982, 1983 and Michigan 1994-1995 cases. McNulty died in 1997. Investigators documented his cremation and unknown remains location. What the evidence does not show, it does not show additional crimes beyond those jurisdictions and years listed in the release. Related inquiries remain ongoing. It does not constitute a prosecution or conviction. The subject is deceased and no criminal case can proceed. Genealogy results alone did not make the identification. The direct DNA comparison to a known McNulty sample did. Known limitations and unknowns. The public record for this case is limited to what agencies released. The documents do not list every item of collected evidence, lab worksheet, or full chain of custody detail. They summarize the assaults, the CODIS links, the genealogy step identifying Sean Patrick McNulty as a potential suspect, and the subsequent direct DNA matches across jurisdictions. Exact kit testing dates, laboratory methods beyond general descriptions, and internal validation records are not included in the release. The geographic list of places where McNulty lived or traveled is not a list of confirmed crimes. Agencies state that investigations are ongoing and that additional cases may surface, but no totals beyond the specified 5 assaults are published. Because McNulty died in 1997, no prosecution can occur, and there will be no trial record to expand these facts. Survivor identities and some narrative details are redacted for privacy. Only essential case facts and confirmations are public. Sources and method notes. Primary source material is the Ventura County District Attorney Public Release dated September 4, 2025, including its attached case summaries and agency acknowledgements. All case facts, dates, jurisdictions, laboratory confirmations, genealogy attribution, suspect identification, and contact details are taken from that release. Program definitions and national context for the Sexual Assault Kit Initiative, SAKI, come from official Bureau of Justice assistance materials. These define SAKI's scope, testing unsubmitted kits, CODIS-driven follow-up, multidisciplinary coordination, and victim services, and inform the explanation of how local implementations operate, where this script references the role of the Columbus Police Department, Investigative Genetic Genealogy and Crime Lab, Bloomington Police Department, 1993 case and reference sample, Ventura County Sheriff's Forensic Services Bureau, Michigan Laboratories, and an FBI ViCAP analyst. Those attributions come directly from the Ventura DA document. No statements beyond that record are added. Methodologically, if a detail was not present in the cited documents, it was omitted. Victims remain anonymous as in the source. Genealogy is described as an investigative lead. Identity rests on the documented direct DNA matches.